the whole world was crashing down on me. I couldn't even explain, like, it was overwhelming, you know. And then, but all three times that I've had like a breakdown, they've all been different. The first one was just like the world was crashing in on me. The second one was like, I'm going to lose control of my anger here and I'm going to kill someone.
Hello everyone, welcome to In My World. Today we have Tui on the podcast, and he's got a bit of a background in mining, in construction, and he's in the process at the moment of transitioning into the mental health space. Now Tui's had a bit of an interesting life. He's had a bit of a rough experience. He's had some meaningful experiences. We just did an interview before. There's certainly going to be a lot to talk about today. So to start up, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are?
Parents are originally from New Zealand.
Yeah,
I grew up here on the West Coast. Beach boy. Yeah, city beachways like Florida, nice areas. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Probably not your stock standard North City Beach sort of looking person, but yeah, that's where I grew up.
So you got a few tattoos around you.
Yeah.
When did you get those?
The first one I was 14. Yeah, I snuck off from my mum in Bali at night time. Got a tattoo. Just started from there, really. But no, more to do with my culture, my Tamil, my Māori side. That's what it started.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
And so, how in touch with you are you with that side of your life?
Ever since I was born, sort of. But it's hard being over here. You know what I mean? And my mum got brought up in a time where like you weren't really allowed to speak your own language and stuff like that. So a lot of people were sort of ashamed to be Māori. So she's sort of reconnecting with her culture and stuff as well. But I've picked up a lot. And my granddad, my koro, he taught me a lot.
And so, what was it like for you growing up?
I had a great childhood. Really, really good childhood. Grew up in a really nice area. You know, surrounded by family and stuff. Always had roof over our heads and stuff to eat. But I guess trauma comes from generations. So the families carry that with them, and we were part and parcel of that stuff, I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah, nothing to really complain about. I had a good childhood.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So what we do, Tui, obviously, we discuss your discoveries, your mental health nuggets over the last sort of 1 to 2 years.
Yep.
And we've got yours, which I'm just going to read them out to you, and then we'll pick through them one by one.
For sure.
Your first one is your relationship with your parents as influences who you choose as a partner, which is interesting. Looking forward to talking about that. Taking the tough road is hard in relation to career. And the third one is that men need to feel safe to talk. So the first one you've got there is your relationship with your parents influences who you choose as a partner. Tell me about what that means for you.
Well, I just think for me it came when I had my sort of second. I've only had like 2 real serious relationships. I only get into relationships when I sort of love said person or think that it's worth my time. You know what I'm saying? That's only the only reason why I've had 2. But to be getting treated in a certain way, not a good way. Both times you sort of ask yourself a question like, what have I done or what am I doing that's attracting these people? And actually debriefing a lot with my mother, shout out Mum, she sort of like picks my brain about it. What was a red flag? What do you think was a red flag? Every now and then she hit me with that and I'm thinking, okay. And then I'll say, the first time I met the last one, right, it was, how do I even explain? She had a vape in her pocket or something. She came up to me. She goes, "Oh, this vape's broken. You should try it." I went and tried to have a hit, and she started laughing at me. It was all wet. She dropped it in the toilet. You know what I mean? Yeah. I thought that was funny. But I think that when I let that slide, she's like, "Oh, okay." I got you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, then because other things happen from then on. This is just an example, right? So because there's got to be a reason why you attract these people that sort of manipulate you or whatever it be.
And so what's been your experience of the people that you attract? I
just get walked all over.
Yeah.
And then controlled.
Yeah, so that's been for you, I guess, when you connect that back to your family, is that like a trend that you've seen, or is it how does that connect with you said that your relationships with your parents can sometimes influence who you pick?
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't, like my parents wouldn't have had a traditional sort of relationship in any way, like any means at all. Yep. My mum's sort of the opposite. So my mum's sort of the domineering sort of, maybe aggressive, sort of character. My dad's sort of passive and compassionate. But don't get me wrong, he's not a soft man. But you know what I'm saying? It was sort of the opposite.
Not dominant.
Yeah, that's right. So that maybe in a way affected it. But I think me and my mum have had like a pretty rocky relationship as the years have gone on. So that might be something pertaining to that with my relationship with women,
Yeah.
I haven't really hit the nail on the head as of yet, but I know that I have to stick up for myself now.
And one thing I see with a lot of relationships, and this is from my own personal experience, is that, we can have a relationship. It might not work out the way we intended it to. And like you said, we keep going back to these relationships, making the same mistakes.
Yeah.
And we don't pick up on these kind of red flags or these patterns of behavior. What's going to change for you moving forward? Like, what's going to be the fork in the road?
That's a good
where
question.
you go, I'm actually going to make a change here, because everything instinctually is probably still channeling you towards these people. Like, it's built into the brain kind of thing. It's
100%.
And so how are you going to go about fighting that instinct next time you're presented with this person who's you're drawn to?
I've just got to, for me, it's like you go for glamours or, like sort of a certain type of woman, you know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm not going to go for them again, but it's like I get sort of mesmerised by how like a beautiful girl could be or something. And it's just like, I don't give a fuck what you're saying. Even if you treat me like shit, I'm just going to, like, because you're so beautiful.
Infatuation.
Yeah, bro, it's just ridiculous. But it's just having respect for yourself. Like, don't let yourself get treated like shit.
That's good. I reckon there'd be a lot of people, a lot of even women who've fallen into the same trap.
100%.
In the opposite.
Yeah. And
it's just like, it's just like your eyes don't always tell you the truth.
No.
Yeah.
Or your heart even.
Yeah, that's right. So
I always see, potential relationships where people just, like you said, get infatuated.
Yeah.
There's this instant connection, love, I'm putting in quotation marks. And then, it may not work out 3 to 6 months later. And I speak to a lot of guys saying, why is this happening to me? And then I ask them, I say, like, have you written down what you're looking for in a partner?
You asked them that?
To my mate.
Yes, wicked.
Yeah, it's like, have you actually, do you know what you're looking for?
Shit. I don't even think
and then they write down, 5 things. And now you've got a target for what you actually need.
Yeah, right.
And what I realize is
That's good.
how you actually meant to find the person that
if you don't know
need,
what you're
if you don't actually know what you're aiming for. So of course we're just gonna grab the shiny toy that you see. But once you actually know what you're looking for, the right person becomes a shiny toy.
Yeah, man.
Because you now can identify them.
Yeah.
So I find that quite interesting.
That's good. That's awesome. I like that. So your second one was taking the long road from a career point of view can be sometimes hard if you want to do what you want to do. You know, tell us a little bit about your journey in that space.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, you know what I'm talking about as well. Eh?
Yeah, I do.
So, just changing the transition from like mining and construction to getting into studying, which is something I've never done. I never did homework at school, and that's not like a rebellious thing. It's because I can't like sit down. Well, I couldn't sit down and really pay attention back then, because I was so manic. But that in itself is a huge thing. And then also, like, obviously coming out of that and stop doing what you're doing, stop construction and stuff. Everyone else around you, like your family, people that care about you, they can look at you and think, oh, what's going on? He's not working. Like, why don't you just go back to work? That's how many times I've heard that lately, man. It drives me insane. Like, they don't really understand that, that's not what I want to do. It's killing me. And I've told them that, I've had to tell them that, it's and to the point where sometimes I've even, lashed out and said, well, do you want me to bloody, do you want me to lose it completely?
So what's driving this transition from you moving from probably a safe mining construction job where you said you worked in mining, you did bricklaying for a long time. What's driving this part inside you, which is like, actually, I want to give mental health a shot?
I just feel like I was made for this, you know what I mean? Yep. Like whatever it be, but like I was, I feel like I've got a bit like a presence, and people will listen to me, and I'm good at talking, you know what I mean? Like I'll talk underwater, bro, like I said. But yeah, it's just helping helping people, because I never had that help. You know, when I went to reach out the first time, and I think this goes back to, you know, like learned behaviors and stuff, you know, through trauma and stuff, you know. So when you have traumatic events in your life, you put your walls up, you know, defensively, you're mentally block or whatever it is. So
you find that you in the past you've put up the blockers because, you know, you didn't want to get hurt, and you're reluctant to seek help in the past.
Yes, sorry, that was one. Yeah, look, and when that happened, and I couldn't find help, I just helped myself. You know, so
yeah,
you know,
and that probably didn't work out well for you.
Well, it didn't. It took a long time.
Yeah,
and but you know, it was a journey in itself. But now that I've done that, you know, it's like I want to help other people who might be stuck in that position, because, man, it was getting real close there to the end, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it was hard, bro.
To me, it sounds almost like the bit of the hero's journey where you go into that dark space and you have that kind of revival back to helping others. Yeah. We talk about the trauma, we talk about the darkness. What did it look like there for you in those dark moments?
Oh, it was horrible, man. It's like it was like being at the bottom of like a well. You know what I mean? And like there's just like a little bit of light. You don't know what, like there's like the whole world was crashing down on me. I couldn't even explain, like it was overwhelming, you know. And then but all three times that I've had like a breakdown, the first, I've all been different. The first one was just like the world was crashing in on me. The second one was like, I'm going to lose control of my anger here and I'm going to kill someone, you know. And like that was that, and I started, you know, it was scary, man. And then the third time, recently, I've just sort of imploded, you know. But I've felt that every time that I've sort of come up to a mental breakdown, I've when I look back on it, I've been bending over backwards and trying to help everyone around me, and then sort of not getting any reciprocation. Not that you do that to get anything in return, right? You don't help people to go, oh, you know, where's my help? You do it just because you want to do it. But yeah, I felt like I wasn't looking after myself, looking after everyone else, and then I just boom, then it just went bang.
Yeah, okay. So you said that you've had a lot of people in the past say, you know, go back out into mining, this and that, because I guess at the moment mining's pretty hot and there's a lot of work around, and if they know that's what you want to do, it's like such a tension if you want to do something else and you're in this zone of trying to look for something else that's a bit slow work-wise study, and everyone's saying, go back, because that's something that I felt in me, doing something new for myself, going into my own business, and people saying to me, you know, go back because there's other work, you know, but it's like, no, it kills you.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel like that's what...
I feel like I've heard that a lot as well, is people actually don't want you to succeed sometimes.
Well, man, that might be the case. Because
they're probably in that position themselves and going, you know, I actually admire him. I don't want him to succeed.
And I've never thought about it like that. Eh? That's crazy, bro. That's some real shit too. That's crazy.
Maybe because that sometimes challenges them to think that they could do the same.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's a really hard thing. I think, like what you said, it takes a lot of guts and a lot of courage to step out of what you know.
Definitely.
Well, really, it's being quite vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're vulnerable with your finances, for starters, which is
100%.
Never easy. I'm sure you can attest to that.
Yeah.
It's vulnerable, you know, it's talking about mental health, especially when you're mining, talking that you're going to talk about your feelings to make money and to help people. That's vulnerable.
Yeah.
And to have the total change of career from using your hands to using your voice and your heart and your story to help people.
Yeah. 100%.
That's pretty big.
So for you, Late, you were in construction.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like for you when you stepped out of, you know, from doing something that you were getting paid well? You know, you'd studied a certain direction. What was it like going into something different for you? Yeah.
So my background was, I did study property development at uni, but I was working in drilling off-siding for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah. I was an off-sider.
It's hard yakka, boy.
Pretty hard job.
Oh, yeah.
And then worked in construction after uni as well. But I experienced what the construction industry was like, and I really did enjoy getting out there, using my hands, meeting people, getting shit done.
Yeah, of course.
But it was extremely challenging, and I wanted to, I guess, put my story to use after losing a few friends to suicide, after I had this spiritual moment,
Wow.
I actually had a spiritual moment.
Wicked.
I don't actually tell many people about
Wow,
this. So
yeah.
I usually just say we started 20 Talk because we lost a few friends. But what actually happened was after I lost one of them, I was walking down a road on Marmion Ave and I just dropped to the floor.
Wow.
And prior to that moment, I always wanted to make lots of money. I was good at it.
Yeah.
I had a business since I was 15.
Shit.
But at that point in time, something just said to me, you have to do mental health.
Wow, man.
Mental health is your thing.
Yeah.
And so from then on, I just knew that it was going to work.
That's wicked.
So I quit my job. I broke up with my partner at the time.
Yep.
I dropped out of uni.
Yep.
And I ended my business.
Yep.
And rehabbed myself from
And that's
drugs.
huge.
I was addicted to drugs for a bit,
Yep.
for a while, and took 6 months to just chill my brain out and restore my brain back to normal.
Yeah.
And then started 20 Talk. I knew it was going to work because I had that moment, and I just put trust and put faith into that moment and said,
man.
let's go.
It's good.
And for years it didn't work. I mean, like years.
Slow. It was slow.
So I take that back. It worked instantly. What I put into it was multiplied by a factor of 5 to 10 every time. But when I say it didn't work, I mean, there was a lot of sacrifices in those 1 to 4 years where I had no money.
Yeah, I bet, man.
Living off $200 to $300 a week, living out of home. But I knew
Off me for free.
But when you just are all in on something, it's just a matter of time because you just don't give up until it works out. So for me, I always knew it was going to work. It's just a matter of time and the sacrifice. And when you say, taking the long road, I believe you can do it.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, because you're just fresh out of that. So that's really probably good for you to hear that.
Yeah, and that's wicked. That's wicked.
But it's like, yes, you have to just understand that it's going to be, a 1 to 3 year suffering period where you just need to commit. And if you adopt the mindset of, if not, like it will happen, it's just a matter of when, then you can't really lose.
Yeah, man. That's wicked.
That's good. So your last one you had was men need to feel safe to talk.
Yeah.
Well, this is very interesting.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So I think the movement is taking a hold, I guess. It is working and stuff, but I think there's still a lot of people, taking their own lives, as we all know about. But I was talking to one of my good friends the other day, and we're over at his brother's house. And we were talking about something. I was talking about something like my mental health or something like that, and he was sort of sitting back, like watching me. He wasn't really saying anything, and I was sort of, sort of trying to poke and sort of see if he'd say something. And then I said, I can't remember what I think I did say, like men need to be in a safe place to talk about their stuff. And boom, he just went, man,
unloaded.
Yeah, man. And it was wicked. He's like, yeah, man. He's like 100%, bro. You need to be in a safe place. It's all well and good saying that men need to talk more, but you got to be in a safe environment with people that you can sort of trust and feel safe and at ease with, like right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That was massive.
That gives me a bit of a shiver.
Yeah, it's wicked.
Have you found that for you? It's actually been difficult for you with what you've gone through in your journey, being able to talk to people? Definitely,
because I feel like I do talk to people about, say 90% of stuff, maybe 85% of stuff, but then there's that all that other stuff that I haven't been talking about to anyone. And my mum has sort of realised that lately, and it's like, you need to be talking to a psychologist. So I mean, talking is fantastic, but to an extent, you need to.
And I just agree with you so much. We just hear all this stuff now. It's like, talk to you, mate.
Yeah, it's easy.
But that's what I mean. It's so easy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are probably doing it to make themselves look good.
Yeah.
But to actually provide a safe space where you look at a person in the eye and you go, what's really going on?
Yeah.
That's just not talking to your mates. That's a skill, and there's an amount of strength that you have to build that trust by just looking at someone. It's not just, hey, how you going? It's how you going?
Yeah, exactly.
Because people say, when I ask people my age, like, you wouldn't think so, but 50. No, but when I ask people my age, they instantly say, I say, how you going? They go, yeah, busy.
Yeah.
That's
So
all
would
they
be.
say.
Yeah.
That's all they say. I'm busy. Good, busy. That's all they do.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't mind talking about stuff. So I find that when I hear that, it makes me want to close down because I just think, well, they don't want to talk about
They're
it.
sort of shutting it off, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've worked in drug rehabs in the army,
Yep.
in a more like a supporting role. What's been your experience opening up with people in those kind of backgrounds?
I got a classic story about that actually.
Go on.
Well, I was actually telling this about someone the other day. I was mentoring someone who's not worked in mental health at all out in the field. And we were with a bunch of firefighters. We're at a big bushfire. The fire had just gone through. So we're doing mopping up, which is, like spraying water on all the stumps and stuff so it doesn't reignite.
Yeah.
And everyone was tired. There was 10 guys. And we're all in an area. We brought them out lunch. And I said to this person who was with me, I said, look, I just generally be around them, just have a pretty casual vibe and just ask the odd question. And basically that's simplifying it. But one person, I asked a question to someone and one person chose to be a bit vulnerable about mental health.
Yeah.
And literally one by one, they all just started going, yeah, man, my son, he's suicidal, or I've been struggling with depression, or I have in the past. And I was literally, it just happened. And I said
Like a
to
snowball.
this guy,
That's amazing.
because guys want to talk about stuff,
Yeah,
right?
of course they do, yeah.
But they won't do it unless someone jumps in first.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they don't want to look like a tool or feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
And literally this one person said it and it just,
so wicked.
it was like boom, 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 boom. And it was just like the most hectic experience. And we all got, dirt, like coal all over, you know what I mean? Like we're just like.
Is that it's been the same experience for you in the army and the drug stuff, or is that?
Yeah, I find if I go there, if I say, man, how you really doing? They give me a bit of a bullshit response. I'll go, yeah, no, I'm asking you seriously. You doing all right?
So it's the follow up,
And it's just like boom, and then it just opens the door.
Yeah, man.
But
that's probably a good
I think
skill for
people-
listeners who are listening to this right now. Is that little follow up question and the look in the eye, and it's almost like that piercing look where you tilt the head.
But
That's
let
it.
me tell you, from my point of view, I just so recently had a close friend die.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, and it's been really difficult for me. I've not known how I've felt because I've felt in shock and stuff.
Yeah,
and for me, wanting to talk about it with people has been really weird because it's not been clear in my head and it's been difficult to talk about, but I've wanted to talk about. But it's been really hard to want to engage that with someone because you don't feel safe. So it's actually really hard when you're in that boat as well. It's not easy.
And
No.
sometimes talking about it isn't just the only thing you can do as well. So like talking about it's obviously really helpful, but there's other modalities where you can express, get your feelings out, whether that's physical,
like sports and stuff like that.
punching a boxing bag, or it's real. There's
100%.
a real energy that gets stored up in your body. By getting out into the world and experiencing, you can release it as well.
Definitely.
So for you then, Tui, you learnt something with that about making people feel safe.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that more moving forward, you reckon?
I mean, I don't even know. Even doing this right now, that's going to reach other people,
It is.
And my mum's doing her thing and stuff as well. That's a bit of a platform there, but I guess through like my own experiences and my friends as well. Like I've actually had a few friends reach out to me because my mum people have been asking how I've been going, and like not just my mum, but like maybe other people have been saying, he's not doing the best, and then they're reaching out to me asking me like, hey man, how's it going? Like I'm always here to chat if you need, and then that opens up a conversation there between me and it was actually my cousin last night who I was talking to, and I thought like we've had a real sort of up and down relationship where we grew up together, and through high school was a bit bit iffy, but now it's just like I feel like we're coming together, like we're on the same journey, you know what I mean? Same sort of goals and stuff. So opening up and talking about it is just it can change people's lives.
It actually just makes life better as well.
Yeah, man.
Like makes life richer.
Yeah.
Because you can smell the roses, you can feel things a little bit
100%.
better. You understand how you're walking through life, and
Yeah.
you can kind of put your hands out a little bit
And know that you're not alone, you know? There's other people as well.
and feel stronger to get into shit spots
Yeah.
because you now know how to handle it.
Yeah.
Potentially, it's still going to be shit, but
Yeah.
Man, life
you
ain't
can
easy. Life is not easy.
you can kind of pull yourself a little bit out of the well if you get in that space again.
Of course.
I think I've shared this quote in the past, but this famous psychologist guy said, "Where you stumble and fall, there you'll find pure gold."
Wow.
And to me,
Yeah.
it sounds like you've had that experience
Yeah.
where you've stumbled a bit, you've had a tough journey, but you found something that you think you want to do.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I
on
think
television.
I think that's your goal, mate.
Yeah.
And I think I really hope for you that you are able to continue to push on with what you want to do.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because you've learnt some really good things, and I think you will be able to really connect with guys who struggle.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be really exciting to see how
I'd love
Tui goes.
I'd love to watch that journey for
Yeah,
sure.
man. I appreciate it,
100%.
guys.
Yeah,
It's
so
wicked.
I think Tui, thanks for sharing today,
Anytime,
mate. It's
anytime.
been real good,
Yeah.
and it's always really encouraging to see earthy guys, work out that I don't want to just do what everyone else is doing.
That's it.
I think
That's
that's really
I
cool.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
100%. Well, thanks for being on the show, and I'm
Anytime,
sure
bro.
everyone's loved today's podcast. So
Hope so.
100%.
Awesome.
Thank
See
you.
later.
Cheers,
everyone.
Bye.